Today on the channel we're going to get our boomer bends on, and I'm going to show you how to play the guitar solo in Hotel California. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to take a look at Hotel California by the Eagles. First and foremost, this song is a great song to learn if you want to learn how to play a guitar solo over a chord progression. Very often you hear play a guitar solo over the chords that are underneath it. And this is a very good example of that. So we're going to get into that. Pretty much 90% of this lesson is probably going to be around the guitar solo. But before we get to that, let me show you the verse progression and the chorus chord progression. The verse is just like the intro, so I'm going to give you the basic fundamentals around the chords that they're playing in this song. The song is in B minor, and they're doing a circle of fifths, which means they play a 1 over a 5 chord. They do that 3 times, and then they turn around with a couple chords, E minor to F sharp, dominant 7, back to B minor. So anyway, enough of that jargon. We're going to start with a B minor in this intro, and then they move it down to an F sharp, dominant 7. Then we're going to move to an A, to an E major or an E major. Then we're going to go to G. I kind of ride up to that G. To a D, D major, E minor, then F sharp, dominant 7. And they repeat that a couple times, right? So during that verse, they break it up, they kind of reggae it out a little bit. Okay, so then they go into the chorus, which moves to a G chord. They go, welcome to the Hotel California, to a D. So it's a G to a D, and you go E minor to an F sharp, dominant 7. Repeat. Play your room at the Hotel California. And it goes back into the verse part that we just showed you, okay? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to demonstrate how to play the guitar solo in its entirety. I'm going to play it over a backing track. If for some reason the video gets demonetized and YouTube won't let me post that, I'll just play the guitar solo in its entirety and then show you phrase by phrase. But first I'm going to start off by showing you how to play the entire guitar solo so you can see the position and you know how it's performed. And then we're going to break it down step by step and how to do each phrase lick by lick. Okay? So here we go. right, so phrase by phrase, the guitar solo. There's a lot of bends in this guitar solo, and that's the most difficult part about this is, other than memorizing the whole thing, it's very long, the bending is the most difficult part because the bends are very tasteful and they're very intentional and they have to be on pitch, otherwise it's not going to sound right. So, and the bends make this solo sound very lyrical and almost like the guitar is singing. Some of these bends are huge too. So we're gonna be, a lot of this is gonna be in the B minor pentatonic position. There's gonna be a couple phrases that we do that are based around the E minor pentatonic position and the F sharp minor pentatonic position. So pretty much in the B minor, E minor, and F sharp is where 90% of this solo, well, all the solo is going to lie. 90% of it's kind of in this B minor area. In the end is just arpeggios of each chord that, triads of each chord that we're playing over, which is quite simple once if you know the fretboard and you know that your chord voicings. But I'll show that to you as well. So let's start off. So that first phrase goes. All right, so there's quite a bit there. So what we're doing is we're going, and why I'm doing that is in B minor pentatonic you got, but you also have, so we're up on this, we're in this section, right up in. So we're going to take this note from the 9th fret on the G string and slide it up to 11. So 9, 11, and then 10 and 12, and you bend that 12th fret up like, and we're bending it up a step and a half. So it's matching that 15th fret. You're bending this B all the way up to this D. So. And then we go. So slowly, we're going to go like this. And I'm bending that note on the 7th fret up half a fret, or you can just fret it on the 8th. So one more time, I'm going to take this lick. And up to speed, it sounds like this. Next lick. So what I'm doing there in slow motion is I'm in the pentatonic shape, starting on the G string. We'll go slow. That last note, he bends that B string, which is on the 8th fret, up to this 9th. That's very pretty. So slowly again. Okay, we're going to take the high E string and then bend it up on the 10th fret. Up. We're going to bend that 10th fret so it sounds like a 12th on the E. So what I did there is next phrase. So that goes. And then we do this Chuck Berry lick. So what that is so next lick goes. So I'm on the G string on the 12th fret, bending it up a whole step. That's how that starts. Then we go on the B string. So what we did there is we went. So once again, that tricky phrase is. Now we're going to switch up to the E minor area. So that lick and up to speed goes. So we're going to go. And we're going to switch up to this position in the F sharp minor position. So up to speed, it sounds like this. Slowly. Next part goes. So what I did there in slow motion. And the next lick up to speed. So we came out of and then we go. So we're on the B and the E string. So on that high E string, we're up on the 17th fret and gonna bend it up a whole step with vibrato. And we're gonna come down here and go. This is like in the D minor position. We're gonna bend this 13th fret on the B string to match the 10th fret on the E. So I did there, I went. That's really tricky. That slide went. That's what that sounds like. So I hope this makes sense. Then we're back up here in F sharp minor. Actually, that's an E minor pentatonic, but it looks like we're in F sharp minor because of the position. So it goes. Slow motion. So slow again. Fast. And then we're going to E back down in the B minor position. It goes. So I went. So I'm just going down in pairs. And back up. Slow motion. And the next lick goes. So it goes. So after that, and then we go into this arpeggio thing, okay? So after each arpeggio, you're going to go up to the higher frets. The first high note that you hit is going to be on the 18th fret. The second one is going to be on the 16th, and then you're going to hit the next one on the 14th a couple times. So you got to remember these arpeggios. So these arpeggios start with the B minor, which is so the first arpeggio sounds like this up to speed, and I'm pulling off and picking. So each one is a pull off. Pick, pull off, and then pick. And repeat that first note at the very end. And I'm alternate picking. The downstroke on the first note, a pull off, then an upstroke, and then a downstroke or an upstroke. So I'm going down, down, up. And then the next note or the next arpeggio is an F sharp dominant 7. The first part of it. So, and that's where we hit that high note, which is up on the 18th fret. So slowly. And then we're going to play an A arpeggio. That's an E dominant 7. and we go up to the 16th fret. So it's the A, E, and we're going to play the G arpeggio. And then to a D. This one has a little bit of a stretch. So it's a G to a D. And then E minor, F sharp, dominant 7. So I encourage you to remember what these arpeggios look like. If you know your full arpeggio, like B minor, you recognize those top 3 notes are in that arpeggio. There's your F sharp, and then A. Then there's the E dominant 7. G, then there's D, then E minor. And then the F sharp. You know, learn those arpeggios. I'm playing a little sloppy tonight, but that kind of gives you the idea. And then you got to get that slide right. So it, so there you go, Hotel California. I know this was a quick lesson. I put the tablature up there so you can follow along a little bit easier, and saves me a little bit of time explaining what frets I'm on. So keep your ears tuned to your bends and listen to the way that the phrasing is as you're playing this solo. I'm going to put the link to the backing track in the description so you can practice along to that. Learn it phrase by phrase and chunk by chunk, and you'll eventually get it and commit it to memory, and you'll become a much better player with your arpeggios, your bending, and your patterns. So anyway, if you like this kind of content, please consider subscribing, comment below, and of course, have a great day. Peace out.